So go up to Tennessee. They have like quarter comics.
We have quarter bins and methamphetamines. If you do some meth, you can look for comics for a long time.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
I'm in such
What
a
did I
fucking
walk
mood, dude.
into?
This is the show. This is the. So I just want to say thank you very much to all of our viewers. This is obviously our last show, and
reminder: this is TVMA, and this is why we have to throw this graphic up pretty often.
Not Near Mint is a show designed for audiences over the age of 18. If you're a viewer under the age of 18, please stop watching Not Near Mint. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that we'll probably get in trouble if you watch us.
Yeah.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Welcome to a new episode of Not Near Mint. It is August the 12th, 2020, 10 p.m. You know what it's time for. We actually have some breaking news. The breaking news is that we have a very special guest from Comics Bookcase, and his name is, please welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Zach Quaintance.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. I'm glad to finally have you on the show. We've been hearing a lot about you, the website, what Miracleman's been working for here, and let's throw that link right on up there and get joined by the rest of our cast. So we have joining us Miracleman.
Hey there, how you doing, guys?
We're live, so we're good.
Thanks for joining us in the chat, by the way.
What Miracleman's been working for.
And
someone needs to mute their YouTube.
Done. That was me. I'll accept the blame on that.
I used to do that every single episode for like 10 weeks, and then I had 3 good weeks, and then I did it again. So it's something we all do.
As you can see, Zach, we're a very professional operation here.
But that still means you get paid. None of us are getting paid.
Well, then I fit right in here with my site. So,
well, let's join Lady Fantastic.
Hello, my name's Lady Fantastic, and I'm the boss here.
That's
She
true.
goddamn well is.
Fully accurate statement.
We sometimes have to throw this graphic up here about this is an 18 or over show, and well, there's something else that we kind of wind up throwing up on the screen, and we'll just have Miracleman read that out, and then we'll go ahead and get joined by a certain person by the name of Comics on the Mind. But first, this.
Not Near Mint is a show designed for audiences over the age of 18. If you are a viewer under the age of 18, please do not watch Not Near Mint. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that we'll probably get in trouble if you watch us.
Likely. Isn't that right? Well, as I say to every time we have him on the show, if you don't have Comics on the Mind, well, you don't have a YouTube show. Welcome, Comics on the Mind.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good. I am Comics on the Mind.
So real quick, I just want to shout out the people that are in the chat that got here kind of early, and we'll just add that to the stream. So let's say hi to Flashpoint that got here nice and early. We have Whack Comics that's joining us along with Ace McGrath. I noticed that you changed your name, McG. Good to have you here. Eduardo Escobar, good to have you in the house, along with, let's see, Two Gun Pedro. And, let's see who else, anybody else. There's so many comments going back and forth. All right, I think that's everyone. So let's get to the topic at hand, which is Batman Bookcase and a little bit of, I don't know. So, Zach, you are a comic book journalist. You have a website by the name of Comics Bookcase. How did you get started in comics journalism?
Short answer, I was in regular journalism, I guess you'd call it, with an interest in comics, and decided I wanted to write about things that I actually liked, in a way that just kind of would help the industry, like give back by helping out and doing reviews, interviews, promoting work that I liked, and just kind of being a part of things.
Well, I'm glad that you're finally in the community, part of this. We've been seeing journalists that are with comics leave in droves, especially right around 2010, 11, 12. The only ones that I even read much anymore are CBR and Bleeding Cool News. And let's face it, it's not the same that Rich Johnston's been doing up till today. It's just, hey, let's copy and paste whatever we can on Twitter. So when I'm seeing a website like Comics Bookcase, tell some people that aren't familiar with what the website is, what it's about.
Sure. And basically, we don't do a lot of news. Like we're not the type of site that's like, oh, this book got announced today. This is what to expect from this publisher. We do a lot of sort of analysis and kind of reading lists of like what's good, what should you read if you like this comic. Looks back at some of our favorite comics. Miracleman's done some of that for us and it's been fantastic. Basically, we just create a platform for people to write about what they like and why, and kind of get the word out to other fans who might like it as well.
And your new project is Next Door, and it looks to me as though it's already completely funded. So much to the point that right before broadcast, we had Miracleman send us a picture of the new cover that it's been doing so well. So what's your experiences like putting together a Kickstarter?
Blurry. Putting together a Kickstarter is incredibly difficult, and like just things coming at you, I think, from all directions that you can't anticipate. I have a whole new respect for the comics promo hustle, which is, you see creators on Twitter, on podcasts all the time, just talking about themselves and their book. That is really hard to do. Like, it's not a natural thing to talk about yourself constantly and talk about your ideas nonstop in a way that doesn't like turn people off, and stay interesting with it. So I have like hats off to all them who do it constantly. That's a huge part of the job that I never really thought about too much.
And I'm sure it's like a fine line, because it's like you want people to be excited, but you don't want them to think that you're like an egomaniac at the same time. It's like, this is weird talking about myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't like, I'm from the Midwest originally. Like, I'm not supposed to talk about myself. It was beat out of me at a young age. But I've had to figure out how to.
When doing this Kickstarter here, what was the most difficult thing that you've noticed right from the get-go, that if you could tell yourself 6 months ago, 8 months ago, hey, I wish I would have known this to begin with, what would that thing be?
So the day you launch, everyone tells you like you're going to be busy all day, but take that day off of everything you possibly can. Take it off of work, take it off of family. Like I even said to somebody, if I had to do over again, I'd have bottled water and Cliff Bars next to the desk, because there's just so many things to do in the first 12 hours to get the word out that you blink and like 2 or 3 hours are gone. And so you kind of need to prep like you're going to be at your desk for in perpetuity. You don't know when you're going to be able to get up and go grab lunch. So I really wish I had known that the first day.
In perpetuity is one of those words that in my job as a court reporter, I'm always worried about hearing. In perpetuity, it means until death. So I hope that you're not chained to your desk until death, and you're able to get out there and see the rest of the community, sign some books, actually get out there and see people, because being chained to a desk sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah. Even to just get up and stretch would be nice. But when I was doing on day one of the Kickstarter, I wasn't even thinking, it was just people start messaging you right away as soon as you launch it, asking questions, and you feel like you should always be telling someone new directly, hey, check out my thing, I just did this. Like, and then you spend quite a bit of time looking at the funding and seeing how much is coming in, because it's very, very nerve-wracking those first few hours.
And something that I read from one of the articles about putting together a Kickstarter is making sure that the tone of whatever you're trying to put out as a press release or each post about it, that the tone matches equal to whatever the book's about. So how did you learn about that?
The hard way. It could have been harder. I have a friend of mine who does comics PR professionally. David Hyde is Superfan Promotions. He's great. Does PR for Mike Mignola, Ahoy Comics, bunch of cool stuff. He took a look at the page and was just like, your book looks great. The way you're talking about it is terrible. Like, it does not match. It does not match. Like, my original, you know how when people launch new books, they always have an equation. It'll be like, oh, Star Wars plus Breaking Bad or something like that.
Right.
My original one was like Death of a Salesman meets Ed Brubaker plus a little Noah Baumbach. It was awful. It was so bad.
Who doesn't want to read an exciting comic about Death of the Salesman? I mean, that sounds fire right there.
I don't even know where that came from. It was like somebody who looked at some of the art was like, that reminds me of Death of a Salesman. And I was like, that sounds important. I'll go ahead and put that in there.
I mean, to be fair, it's almost equivalent of back in the day in 1992 when they're trying to put together the Batman TV show, the animated one, and they go, well, we're trying to make an animated show and base it off of Citizen Kane. You want to make a children's TV show based on Citizen Kane? Are you high?
Yeah, and you definitely can't market it that way to third graders.
But there's ways that you can always work on the messaging, and if you have somebody that's within the industry to help you along with that, message it along the way. Have you seen a turnaround, and what was that turnaround like if you had one after you started changing the messaging?
Sure, yeah. It's been a work in progress since the messaging. It never really stops is another thing I've learned about Kickstarter. Like, you can hit your fund. We hit our funding in the first 24 hours, which was fantastic. Thank you so much to anyone who helped us do that, because I've been able to sleep since then, which is nice. But the messaging is always sort of a work in progress, because the way I'm talking about the project on day one is more of sort of introductory. Like, here's what it is. Nobody's heard of it at that point. Now we're on day 10 or 11, and we have people who maybe have heard us talk about it a little bit, or on the fence. And so we're always looking for new things to sort of keep the messaging evolving. What was really cool was getting in that cover that Anna Redmond did with the dog on the front. The dog has been a big hit from the start. Everyone who's seen it has had questions about the dog. They want to know if the dog's okay. What's the dog's name? Like, the dog is running away with the star of this thing. So we sort of leaned into that with the messaging, and we're going to share some more art this week coming up that will be fairly dog centric. So that's been a quick lesson to learn. People love dogs.
That is a great cover. I saw that cover and I said, wow, that I'm really interested now.
Yeah.
The dog is great, but even just the way that the image, do we have that image? Can we show that image?
I would love to see that image.
I have this image that we were talking about just prior to the show beginning, where he went viral. But if you're talking about another image, you'll have to drop that in the private chat for me to go ahead and share. But for those at home that want to know where this image came from, that blew up from a meme, it all came from Mr. Zach Quentins here.
Yeah, well, Nicola Scott illustrated it, and she'd been doing this series with other characters. Yeah, you could see there Wonder Woman. She'd done Batman and Superman for the anniversaries of these characters, and then for the Nightwing one, she turned him around in the front, give it a very different kind of look. And so one morning, I threw all four of them up there. Didn't think anything of it. Walked away, and before I knew it, it was taking off across the internet.
It not only went viral, it was actually a Twitter moment.
Yeah. And like within 48 hours, DC Comics official website had written a piece about the history of Nightwing's butt for their website to kind of explain, because a lot of the people that were liking it, like when you're in comics, I think we've all heard of Nightwing's butt, like it's
Sure.
a thing. Yeah.
Right.
But people outside of comics had no idea. So this tweet was going around the internet. They were clicking the first 3 pictures and getting the 4th one and just being like, whoa, what is going on there? So DC had to write this thing sort of explaining the history of it. And I think it all comes down to he doesn't have a cape. So they've always been able to show off how he looks from behind.
Yeah.
And much like Captain America, he doesn't skip leg day.
That's right. And also not a cape wearer.
I heard someone describe Nightwing as a dude with 2 sticks in a weird suit.
I mean, that's not inaccurate.
Everybody's got their preference.
Have fringes on it too.
Yeah, disco Nightwing.
Yeah, that was. I remember when that one happened. It not only blew up when I saw it on the Twitter moment. That's when I knew. Oh boy, he's got a lot of notifications on his phone.
They're still coming in. I just like the photo now.
And I don't have any hard numbers in front of me, but I'm willing to wager that is the most liked dick pic in Twitter's history. Okay.
Focusing on Richard Grayson.
Yes. Yes, Rick.
That we can show on this show where we won't get pulled down. Again.
Hey! Let's move past that. I added that link into the background there for you, Mr. Worst.
Right.
If you'd like to bring that up. This cover, when I saw this cover come out, I was on board right away. Clearly,
It's not the braids one, is it?
It's not the braids one, lady. Please, I'm trying to look professional here. It's not the braids.
And I just dropped the link in the chat for the people at home.
Thank you.
Yeah, when we it's great. It's really fantastic that the mailbox there. I mean, the whole thing. It's a fantastic design.
Yeah, the dog's face cracks me up still. I've looked at it quite a bit. I'm still laughing about it. He's just so thrilled with what he's doing.
Yeah, he looks proud of himself.
Yeah, very. And relieved at the same time.
Both, yes.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way when I do the number 1. I feel proud and relieved.
Just like my cat. I just look at whoever's looking at me doing that and go, you like what you see. This show degrades into who knows what over the course.
What's happening right now?
This is normal. And I just wanted to ask, we didn't have the opportunity, or I failed personally to even reach out to your collaborator for the show. Anything you can share about them?
Yeah, Pat Scott. He's a fantastic artist. We really developed this story and this idea and the whole concept really developed between the two of us. Like it definitely wasn't an instance of me bringing a fully formed script to Pat and saying, this is what I want to work on. Like we kicked so many emails back and forth in March when we were both like newly quarantined and thought it was going to be temporary. So, and we just developed it together. Like, I mean, it's very much both of our stories, and his artwork is just fantastic. Like one thing that's made it really easy on me scripting it is when you get the pages back, like it tells the story on its own. So that frees me up to make the dialogue like a lot more natural. They don't have to be like, we're going to the store, I'm angry. Like that all comes across so well in his artwork, which is really nice.
I have a question. Can you name some writers and artists that influenced you?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was writing this one, I was in the middle of, or I had just finished reading Stray Bullets by David and Maria Lapham. And that was a huge influence on just the sort of conflict and the drama in this one, because it's a lot of like, I don't know, those comics they're probably my favorite crime comics of all time. I think they're the best crime comics of all time. And there are a lot of like, the drama is usually about relationships or normal disagreements between people, just cranked up with the craziest violence. And it's so entertaining. But so that was a huge influence on this one particularly.
Artists?
The artwork, Sean Phillips is a favorite of mine with crime comics. I mean, I think like just the amount of pages that guy puts out a year and how excellent they are is just incredible. And I think he's like, him and his frequent collaborator Ed Brubaker, like we take those guys for granted. It's just their work continues to arrive month after month, and it's amazing. And it's easy to think like it's always going to come, it's always going to be here. It's that good.
So, like, I was very taken aback by how good Brubaker was when I read the Doom series. I can't remember what is it, but it's basically about the history of Dr. Doom and how he became the man that he was, because he came from humble beginnings in like Latveria or whatever, or in that area. He was like a gypsy, and he made a deal with Mephisto basically to try and bring his mother's life back. But it was really interesting, and the dynamic between he and Reed Richards and the way that Brubaker wrote this story, I was very impressed with. He can really, really tell a story. Anyways.
Yeah, his superhero stuff. It's so weird to think now, but when I first came across his work,
Books of Doom. Yeah, the Books of Doom. Sorry, Pop.
Yeah, he was writing Batman, like the main Batman title, and for a while I just thought of him as the Batman guy, which is a really strange thing to think of him now. But all the Batman comics he wrote, especially Gotham Central, which is an all-time favorite comic of mine.
Fantastic. Yeah, he also wrote Criminal too, right?
Yeah, Criminal. Oh yeah.
I mean, I first started getting to know who Brubaker was right around Captain America, and right after he took over for.
That's right. He was on Captain America for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think Winter Soldier was his storyline. Like, I don't know if we have that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Ed Brubaker.
Yeah. Hot damn.
Yeah. He's done a lot.
He was on X-Men for a minute too.
Yes, he was.
Almost positive.
He did a lot of stuff with Vulcan, who just
in
came
like
back
the 490s, in the late 400s somewhere.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Pretty sure I can pull a Brubaker out.
Yeah. A lot of folks rotated on those X books in the 2010s. Like, it was a revolving door there for a while.
Fraction was in there. I know he was in there for a minute.
Bendis, Remender,
everybody.
Yeah.
It was basically.
What?
It was a house book. I mean, it was, if you worked for Marvel in that era, you did some time on X-Men.
Jeff Lemire at one point.
You're on X-Men.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was just fill-in. I mean, you know, if you worked at Marvel, if you did anything, you did an issue or two of X-Men in that era.
I need to get a list of everybody who was on X-Men.
Right.
If they're British and they did some Vertigo stuff, chances are they probably worked on it. Like Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis,
Morrison.
Steve Dillon even did some stuff.
Yeah. Well, Vertigo was very strongly populated by the Brits for quite a while.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Zach, is there anything else you wanted to share about the?
What's
I was
that?
just going to ask him. I'm noticing. I'm looking at Zach's background behind him. I see that he has plenty of books and comics. What is your favorite book that you're reading right now?
Oh man, I'm gonna give you a list. I'm gonna cheat immediately. Dude, I'm sort of alternating volumes between Akira, which I've never read. I'm reading for the first time, and Love and Rockets. And switching off between those and kind of taking them slow. I'm almost at the end of both of them. So when I get done with that, I have this omnibus of the early Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics, which I've never read, and I'm really looking forward to jumping into those. Yeah,
you'll enjoy it.
I can't wait.
When you see the art from back then on those old Turtles books, and you look at what the guys are doing now. Man, they have not. I hate to say anything negative. I think I preferred the art that they were doing in 1985.
The Eastman stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely looking a little. It's definitely a little bit more stylized now. I mean, he's always had a very stylized pen, but it's definitely a little more stylized now to the point where maybe it's changed it. You know.
Yeah, I'm excited to check these out. Like, it was the way it was explained to me was they had no corporate interest when they started. Right. So you're like on issue 4 and they're going to space for some reason because they can just do whatever they want. They're beholden to no one or anything.
Yeah. They
Yes, that's accurate. I mean, you're going to see some stuff in those first half dozen issues, brother. I'll tell you what.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Exciting.
Very excited. Yeah.
It's exciting stuff. Anyway, so before we let Zach wrap up here, because I know he said he could do about a half an hour.
We're about 25 minutes in.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, if you could go back and do anything differently at this point, what would it be?
Yeah, so many things.
My entire life, I get it. That's my
I would have. Well, right now I'm trying to make a video to put up on the Kickstarter and like working with video editing software. Really wish I'd done that 6 weeks ago instead of right in the middle of the campaign. Very poor planning on my part. But I think that speaks to a bigger thing. I just wish I would have thought. I was so concerned with the art and the story and all that that I didn't think enough about the promotion and advertising, which is all I'm consumed with now. So that it would have been pretty nice to get a jump on that a little bit better.
Yeah. Strange you mentioned that. That's actually one of those things that I heard recommended just the other day from somebody else who was doing Kickstarters. They said, do the video. The video definitely. The way they described it was it shows an investment in your product, which I kind of get, but especially for a first-time Kickstarter, personally, I understand exactly where you went. You want to make sure the product's going to come out as good as possible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was the big concern. Like, it's just can we do this well? Can we do it well enough to the point where we'll feel good that people are getting good value for it? Yeah, I didn't think at all. Like the way it was explained to me was like, make a video, get your face on it, and tell people why they should like you. That's all right. I'll see what I can do.
But there are plenty of people in the industry that I don't know what they look like. I just found out that Al Ewing's a white guy. So
what did you picture him as?
I don't know. I thought that
purple woman. What do you? I mean, everybody thought Al Ewing was a purple woman.
I don't know. For some reason, I just thought he was a person of color, and then all of a sudden, I see a video, and he's some dude with some huge, bushy, beard, and he's a white guy. I'm like, oh.
I wasn't sure where you were going when you said huge and bushy. I was a little lost there for a second, but I'm glad you pulled it out.
We're not talking about 80s porn bush. No, we're not going there today. So, Zach, what are you looking forward to for the rest of 2020 into the future, whether it be your new book coming out or the comics book?
Yeah, I'm really excited to actually physically have a comic that I made in my hands. That'll be really, really cool when that day arrives. And then subsequently, I'm really excited for other people to get that comic in their hands. With the way this year is going, I don't want to. I'm cautiously optimistic. Things may turn around at some point, but I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm just going to keep it to my comic being what I'm excited about here.
And any new articles that are coming up on the website?
Yeah, actually, let me plug something we're working on that I think is really cool. I've always been really interested in these people who kind of really closely associate with one character, and run Superman accounts or Huntress accounts and things like that. And so I'm putting together this series where people who have those sort of accounts on Twitter or just have a close deep love of a character are going to write about they're going to write about how they found that character, why they love them so much, and then they're going to recommend 2 or 3 stories, the best. If you want to read about Superman, these are the stories. And that's going to be a daily series that we run either through September, October on Comics Bookcase. I think it's going to be really cool.
Oh, that sounds great.
I'm looking for articles on comics. We already know who the key first appearances are. I want to go down the rabbit hole with a particular character, find out what's going on, how it correlates to other books, and when I see websites and journalists that are able to do that, you got a long-time fan permanently until you sell the website or everything goes out of business. It's 2020. Possible.
Yeah, anything's possible, right?
So shout out your social media. Where can we find you? Instagram, Twitter?
I'm on both Twitter and Instagram as Comics Bookcase, and comicsbookcase.com. But yeah, I'm on Twitter all day compulsively, so I'd love to interact with more people on there.
I hear you.
Yeah, right. I see you on there. Yeah.
Two down here, they don't do Twitter, and we can understand why.
I don't quit it, dude.
Because we're twits. At least
no
myself and Miracleman and Zach are. But to give a good example why a lot of people don't do Twitter, so back in 2014, Blockbuster, that was the last time they tweeted. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, out of the blue, there's an article on Airbnb. Hey, they're going to be renting out the very last Blockbuster video in the whole country for an Airbnb. So they retweeted about it. They were on Twitter for all of 8 hours before they went, we're out. Okay, bye. We're done.
A cesspool of horribleness.
Yeah, that's the standard Twitter experience, I think, for most people. Yeah.
Those of us who make it through, it's like surviving like an apocalyptic event, or like being attacked by a shark literally every single day. That's essentially what it's like.
You have to have a little masochism in you to really get it.
That's accurate.
I think it's the same with Facebook. You got to be a little fucked up.
Right. Yeah. So
Because
Comics
my
on the Mind,
Facebook-
Lady Fantastic. You should definitely join us on Twitter, as I can tell we're selling it for you right now.
No, I saw on Twitter when it first came out. I checked it out and I was like, "This is fucking stupid." And then 5 years later, I tried to revisit it, and I was like, "This is still stupid." But I just don't get the allure. I'm a loser.
You're probably happier without it.
Yeah.
I can't operate that way. I just can't. I'm too much of I get overwhelmed with stimuli. So Twitter's not going to be good for me. I'll end up losing my mind and being like Miracleman here.
I don't know. Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to be like that.
Everybody.
I'm gonna let that go, Lady Fantastic, because that's fair. That's fair. It was mean. But it was fair.
You're a madman.
That's fair.
I mean it in the nicest way possible.
Well, I figured. So Zach, I don't know if you needed to get going, but I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight. Is there anything else you wanted to let the audience know, or let our follow-up audience that'll check out the show later know?
No, I just thank you all so much for having me. This was a blast. You can find my Kickstarter. Search Nextdoor on Kickstarter. The first thing that will come up is an erotic manga. That's not my book. The second one is You want me to go into? You want me to elaborate on that, or you can just find it yourself when you search for it?
I mean, I'd like elaboration. I'm not gonna lie.
So, all right. So the day after we launched, some guy in Wyoming, that's all that it had on there, launched an erotic manga called My Neighbor Next Door, which immediately got like $12,000 in funding from like 1,000 different people, and became the number one thing that comes up on Kickstarter when you search Nextdoor. But ours is the number two thing. So once you're done looking at that manga, please check out our book. I beg you.
I'm going to back the other one now too.
Yeah. And I don't know why I'm giving them a free plug.
Porn over there. And let's
Yeah.
face it, when you can get for free, go buy some quality.
Yeah.
So again, that Kickstarter is, I have a link that I will throw up one more time. I just had it up. There it is. Kickstarter.com projects. Look up Zach, ZACKQ, Next Door Comic, and you should be able to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all so much. This was a blast. I'd love to do it again sometime.
Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah, of course. It was nice meeting you anytime.
All right. Yeah.
If I want to buy 2020, I'll fucking tweet you.
All right. Yeah, you do that.
I will start a Twitter account if Miracleman starts IG.
Ah,
Hold me on that one.
this is blackmail. Blackmail right here. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Zach. It was great having you on, and I hate to speak for the whole crew, but I'm sure I do when I say we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, let's do this again sometime, everybody. This was a blast. I really appreciate it.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Take care.
All right. Talk later.
All right.
Be safe.
Take care.
And now it's back to the four of us. And now it's been a pretty big week for comics. I don't know how many or if all of us picked up today, but let's see where my little link is where I go, what did you pick up this week? Because it's now the comic book hunt. So we all picked up books. I got a few extra things. I got some things in the mail. Who wants to start? I always give it to the ladies first, but
Kirk, were you able to get some today?
I didn't get any books today, but I have an ALK I can show.
Show it.
yes.
I knew you were going to make me go first. I just knew. Anyway, shout out to poor Mike. He was in the chat earlier. I'm kind of sad he left because this AOK came from him. Funny story about this AOK. He originally sent me one months ago when I was in my other apartment, but it got stolen. That's the reason why I'm not at that apartment no more. But he sent me some more goodies, and I can't wait to read these. First one is the Magic Order, issue number 1. Heard great things about this story, and I actually can read it now. So here's issue number 1. It's covered great. Here's issue number 2. Here is issue number 3. You might want to put that rated M. It's not that bad, but
Is it this bad?
some people may take it.
All right,
that way,
back
but
over to you.
I love it.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which cover is
Stop
that?
licking.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yep, there you go. Good stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait to read it. Here's issue number 4.
Awesome.
And
I love that
here's
series,
issue
man.
number-
It was really good.
Yeah, I heard it was really great, and I was kind of mad I didn't get a chance to read it. But now
There
I
is
can, so I found
one
it.
scene that's one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in a comic. And then there's another scene that's one of the most mind effer of scenes I've ever seen in a comic. Yeah.
I definitely read this tonight.
And this is from the same guy that did Nemesis, where he just wasted a whole room full of people, blood and guts every year. If you read that and you're comparing that to that and saying it's still a mine, oh, I gotta watch. I
Yeah.
gotta see.
Yeah.
Where did you-
Blood. Okay. Oh, and then one more. I think this is a wraparound cover.
Oh.
You know I love me
love
some
it.
Bishop.
Shiny,
Cover
shiny.
with Bishop
Love
on it. Shiny, shiny lady.
Meow, meow.
And that's all I had.
Still a pretty good pickup. I don't have any of the
Oh,
Magic
yeah.
Order. I meant to get it. Instead, I picked it up for my friend Rufo, so I never got to read it.
No.
So yeah, when you read it, let me know how it is, and I'll probably just buy it on eBay or something.
Oh,
Hey, contact.
Is it hard to hear me, you guys?
Yeah.
A little bit, but it's all right. It's better than when my mic is unplugged.
Stop, Rob.
Yeah, I suck. The
Stop
word.
it.
So who wants to go next? Lady Fantastic and Miracleman.
How much did you get, Miracleman? Because you were sending us some stuff earlier.
And
I
I got
mean, some. I got some.
That doesn't
Some
tell
is
us
the answer.
anything.
The expression on your face says it.
I'm sure glad you live several states away because I can't stick my boot right up your ass right now.
That look, that eye roll is, if you were here, I would.
Show them.
You want me to show mine?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go.
All right. Well, I did get a couple of books this week, as per usual.
A couple?
A couple. It's a few. It's some. It's more than zero. It's less than all the comics. So, I mean, nice even spread. First up, I'm going to go non-big two here first. Billionaire Island. Listen, this is Mark Russell's writing this book. It's Ahoy Comics. If you watch the show, anything Ahoy, I'm going to give it a shot. Anything Mark Russell, I'm going to give it a shot. There is, in my mind, very few writers in comics today that are able to skewer modern society and show us the ridiculousness of it as Mark Russell is capable of.
That's fair. That's very fair.
He's a great writer. I genuinely enjoy everything he's done. Snagglepuss, Flintstones. I think the one book of his that wasn't my favorite was Wonder Twins, and it wasn't that it was bad. It just didn't capture me like all of his other books did. Everything else he's done, particularly all of his indie stuff, has been fantastic. So I genuinely enjoyed it. Here, next up, I missed it last week because my shop was shorted, but there's my copy of Vampire the Masquerade. This is first story is written by Tim Seeley, he of the Money Shot fame, and the second story is written by Robert and Trini Howards. Something like that. Howard, I think it's Howard. Dude, this is really fun. If you didn't buy this book, you should really take a look at it. Especially if you're a but a teenager of the '90s and you ever played Vampire the Masquerade, the old school RPG. Excellent.
Well, Rachel, like the two YouTubers, she's getting a copy sent to her because last week she was the one that won. I don't think she was in the chat, but a package is on the way to you. And
that's
who is
right.
it? Sharon! Go ahead.
Up next, we got Adventure Man, Fraction, Dodson and Dodson. The art in this is just gorgeous. Sometimes I think
I knew that was Dodson. I saw it today. I was like, that is very Dodson-esque.
Oh yeah, that's Dodson. Matt Fraction is not always knocking it out of the park for me. It's not that he doesn't hit a lot of great stuff. He does, but there's some series that he does, and I'm like, man, that really doesn't grab me. This is friggin' awesome. Okay, I absolutely
okay.
love it.
Sorry, I love it.
All right.
Okay.
Mirka, listen here, lady. Mirka Adolfo's Unsacred. If you like a little filth in your comics, but also a little cuteness at the same time, then this is what you want. All right. I know those sound like odd things to mix together.
Girls, right?
What's that?
There's no pig girls in this one, right?
Not this one. This is a devil and a angel, and they meet, they fall in love, they get married, and it's the ridiculous families, and it's very opposites, but there's lots of sexual situations. You can tell the first issue was based on all like individual webcomic strips, but over time it's been tied in together. It's really a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. The Resistance from Straczynski, that Diodato Jr. art. I love Diodato.
Yeah, I saw that today. It's gorgeous. I didn't buy it.
It's really cool. Issue 4. It's only 6 issues. This AWA stuff is all miniseries. There's no ongoings.
I only have 1 and 2 of it.
Grab them, man. The story's really been good.
Really?
Really has.
It's hard for me to get a 4 if I don't have a 3.
Yeah, you should get a 3. I bet you can still order them, man. I bet you can still order. I bet you can do it. And now, next up, we have, and I have a special cover, so I'm not going to show it to you. 7 Secrets from Boom Studios. This is the special covering for anybody who has the book that has the revealing cover. And it's not revealing as in the reason we got kicked off the show one time. It's revealing.
Show it. No, don't.
It's revealing because it is a spoiler for the story. So that came bagged. I was very, very happy to get my hands on that one. And it's Tom. Listen, get that book. I'm not even going to say anymore. Just get Seven Secrets. Join the Future, Zach Kaplan, Piotr Kowalski. Another book that does an excellent job looking very slightly into our future and giving us commentary on the world around us today. And sometimes
That's a great story.
Go ahead.
I was saying that's a great story.
Oh, phenomenal, right? Really good. Really digging it. Now, of course, I imagine if you bought comics today, you probably bought a copy of this, DC's Death Metal. That's freaking great, man. But listen, here's the thing. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a DC fanboy, 100%. This book is a fanboy book. All right. Everything they're doing is fanboy service.
Once they reintroduced Jaro to the series, now I'm on board. Because beforehand, I'm going, it looks like they're cobbling pieces of Justice League and parts of Metal, and I don't know what they're trying to do here. I see Jaro go, Dad?
Yeah, it did it right there. It did it right there. It even tied in a little bit of Blackest Night today.
I'm just wondering.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Thomas. What were you saying? No? Okay. I
was just saying. Go ahead.
Okay. We got to do something about that lag, man. Superman 24. Listen, I know. Yes, Bendis is doing lots of talking heads. I'm not going to argue that. But how can you have a Kevin Maguire drawn book with Dr. Fate on the cover and not buy it?
I was going to be dropping Superman, but I picked it up because of the Fate cover.
It's so good, dude. It's so good. And then, of course, I got Green Lantern Season 2, number 6. This looks like Morrison was allowed to create a whole bunch of characters that'll never matter again. And, when he does that, he's off the chain. He can do whatever he wants with them. It's awesome.
And then 3 years later, someone will actually use one of the characters and they'll blow up.
Right. That's usually the way it goes. Hawkman 26, chugging along here. Story's gotten a lot better since that year, the villain tie-in. God Tank. I was going to mention a little bit about that later. I'm really hoping that I've really been enjoying this ever since they got rid of the Year of the Villain. The Year of the Villain stuff just drug on. And I think it was rough, right?
Very.
Yeah.
I felt every week of that year.
And it was only, I don't think it was a year, man. I think it was like 5 months.
Wasn't, but it sure as shit felt like one.
Like it. Yeah, it did. This one was last week, too. I didn't grab it. I had to wait till this week because it wasn't in my box. Giant Size X-Men, Phantom X. It was good. I didn't finish reading New X-Men.
Quick question, because all I really remember.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you might remember more than I do, because I mostly remember the Grant Morrison run where he goes into the world, and I don't remember him having a brother. So is that something new to this story?
I think it is. I think this is retconning an origin. I never finished that Morrison and various artists run. I've read it.
I'll make it real easy on you. Jean Grey dies, comes back. Magneto turns out to be Zorn. There, you're caught up. They retconned everything else.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. But the character himself seems interesting. He's very one-dimensional in this to me. I mean, it probably adds depth if you knew that. I didn't know that.
He's supposed to be a douchebag. That's it.
He's douchey. Star Wars Darth Vader. Listen, if you're not reading Darth Vader and you like Star Wars at all, the first 4 issues of Star Wars here has given us some looks at characters we haven't seen since Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, last week you were just telling us that it wasn't Padme that came back. It was
Hit her bodyguard, her lookalike. And in this issue, you see a lot more characters from Naboo. And when I say a lot, I'm saying
Everybody.
lots more. If they appeared or had a speaking role in Phantom Menace, they're in this book. Okay, just about. There's one or two that did, but just about.
Roger.
All right, now I'm gonna flip through these last ones. Oh yeah, I got the Empire, X-Men Empire there. You know, picked up a couple of the FCBDs. Got the Vox Machina because this one has a Norse mythology.
It has a Gaiman script in there.
Yep. Say again?
Only reason why I grabbed it, I saw Gaiman on the cover. I'm like, mine.
Norse mythology is coming out in a couple of months. I'm kind of not sure if I'm gonna be able to buy it though, man. Dark Horse really kind of messed up with Alley. I don't know if I might want to give them a little time to show us they've changed before I'm willing to buy any of their books. Blade Runner 2019 from Titan. I like the original Blade Runner movie, but I'll be honest with you, it's a bit of a snooze fest. It was good at the time, but let's be honest, watch it now and try to stay awake.
It looks like the Sloth from the animal movie that came out where they work for the DMV and yeah, that's about right. That's about how it goes. Right there. That's perfect. That's an excellent example. That's the speed of the movie.
Yeah. I also grabbed Hillbilly from Eric Powell there just because, Powell got to get that. And now I'm on to some back issue pickups, which I got some really cool ones. And I got some I didn't send you pics of even, I think. We're going to start with the funky stuff. Should I start with the funky stuff, do you think?
Yeah.
Funky stuff. All right, I'm going to give you all the funky stuff. All right, first of all, here's Charlton Comics Group, issue 128 of Billy the Kid and all Marie Severin issue.
What year again? Sorry.
That's 75.
Oh, great year.
Yeah.
Great year for 79. Jesus.
79. I lied. It's 79. I lied.
That was a great year for Jesus. Every year's a great year for Jesus.
Every year's a good year for Jesus. Then I got
our Lord.
Then I got
like the right thing to say.
I got some pretty high grade Flash Gordons from Gold Key.
I love it. Those are great.
These are great. Issue 19, that's the first Gold Key issue, or Western Publishing, whichever you prefer. Issue 21, issue 22. Then I also found issue 75 of the OG Twilight Zone. I didn't get any Milestone, man. I'm really bummed out at it. I didn't get it. But all these Gold Keys, you guys know it. You can't find these not looking like somebody wiped their butt on it. You know what I mean? They always look beat. These look great.
Everyone looks like they're in like a 2.5 condition.
Right.
Everyone we see.
Because they came out in a 4.0 condition. So when you find them in this kind of grade, it's really great.
Much like Eastern European women, they do not age well.
That's accurate. Then I got a couple more.
That's wrong. Inaccurate. False.
I got a couple more here. Space Adventures 13, another Charlton book. Space War number 32. Only thing wrong with this guy, it's got a real solid sub crease down. But otherwise, pretty decent for Charlton. And here, final issue of their Space War book, number 34. Another real high grade. And then I got a Joe Staton E-Man from First Comics. The original E-Man is one of their launch titles. I don't know if you knew that.
84, 82?
84. 84. And then a couple real fast ones I'll go through here just because I know, it's getting late, almost 11. But I picked up issue 2 through 4 of the Demon miniseries. And I never realized this, but there's a misprint to Demon number 2. It says Book of 4 of 4. See that?
Very cool.
And then they fixed that there. And then book 404. There you go.
Kind of like the Punisher miniseries, book 1 of 4.
Yeah.
2 of 4
Who was the author on that?
Wagner, Matt Wagner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Elvira's House of Mystery #2.
Ugh, that's badass.
They're not easy to find, man.
No, they're not.
They're tough.
I think I've seen one in the wild. One.
Second one I've ever found.
Really?
Second one. Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
comics.
Hey, I freaking love comics. How you doing, guys? Then we got. I already had these, but mine were real rough looking. By the way, every one of these books was a $1 pickup. Every one of them. Okay, not that one. That was free. But all the back issues here have been $1. Swamp Thing 39.45 real high grade copies. My 39, I don't know how. I must have bought it this way, but it looked waterlogged. So I was real glad to find them.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the third appearance of John Constantine?
39, yes indeed. Yes indeed.
No way.
Yes indeed.
Ooh.
Yep. Then I got the Wonder Woman special here with Deathstroke on the cover, part of the William Messner Loeb's
Nice.
run. Beautiful, right?
Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
I don't have that issue.
It's a great one. Avengers West Coast 61. Guys, these are cheap books to put together.
Yeah, they are, and it's a great set. I love West Coast Avengers.
It's good reading.
It's fun. You got to take individual story arcs. I think as a whole, it kind of gets a little jumbled, but individual story arcs are really great. But the excellent part about this is, if you see on the right, there's the Avengers West Coast, and if you see on the left, all those folks are dead. There's Arno Stark, 2020 Iron Man. If you don't know who the orange and blue guys are, one is left winger, the other one's right winger.
Oh, yeah.
shit.
In America.
Uh-huh.
And the Reaver, who's dead from Vision.
Yeah. Then I found this cable in Deadpool number 45.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Right? Cool cover. Cool
Is it
cover.
a variant?
I don't think so. I think that's the regular cover. Near the end, they got funky. They got funky covers near the end.
Yeah, they're cool, man.
They're cool. Then, continuing the Straczynski run, I just about finished off all of it. Here's 601.
That is one of the best covers, in my opinion. 601.
Beautiful cover.
One of my most favorite covers.
Oh, I love that cover.
602. I dig this one too because the hammer's melting.
Yeah, they're both
Badass.
in.
603. Not as good of a cover. Still good.
A Doom, man. Can't discount the Doom.
Can't discount the Doom. And I already had a third printing or second printing, but here's a first printing of Thor number 2 from that same run.
That's sexy.
And then last couple books here, guys. First of all, if you find this series, I don't care what issues they are, you pick them up. There's not a single one that's bad. Legends of the DC Universe.
Yep.
There's 15, and there's 16.
And real quick, I freaking love comics. No, we have not talked about the DC news.
Not yet. Not yet. No, we will. And then, I already had this one, but I love this cover so much, I didn't even care. Again, $1 book. Incredible Hulk 109.
Bitchin', dude.
That's a killer cover, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Love it. Love it. Frank, man, he could draw anything. Anything.
I'll never hold that against you.
Punisher number 54, part of the Garth Ennis run.
That's pretty nice art as well.
It is. It fits. It fits. And then last but not least, this is one that I was real happy about finding. Again, this was a $1 book. Guys, these are really tough to come by. This one I'm about to show you here. If you see it, if you're at all a fan of the franchise, grab it because you're not going to see it very many more times.
I have that.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe number 1. This is cover C, the foil edition.
I have that box, and all of a sudden it blew up, and I just remember buying that on day one.
Yeah, really tough issue to find. Not a huge print run. It was Image in a time when they weren't the 90s powerhouse, and they weren't they weren't putting out books that were Walking Dead levels.
Was that one a buck?
That was a $1 book, yes indeed.
You turd nugget.
I'm all right with being a turd nugget. Yeah, this was 2002 that this came out.
Yeah, and back at that time, anything from Image that wasn't the top tier selling book. I mean, let's face it, even the Spawns had print runs of about 5,000-6,000.
Right.
And that probably couldn't be that high.
Nowhere near. I'm not entirely certain what this one is. Actually, you know what? I'll take a quick peek here, see if I can pull it up. Oh, there we go. Does not give us the print run on it, but one of the reasons that it is so big is because it is a preview of Invincible.
Oh.
So you're going to have Masters of the Universe fans and you're going to have Invincible fans. If you like Invincible, this came out before Invincible came out.
And I had a full run at one point.
There you go.
No.
So that's all the books I got today. How about you there, Lady Fantastic?
Okay. I only got they didn't have any of the books that I wanted today. They didn't have Hulk. They didn't have Strange Academy. They didn't have Venom. I mean, they didn't have it. I was frustrated, but I,
Did they not get their shipment?
No, I think I got there probably an hour and 45 minutes after it opened. So I think it had just been picked over. Everybody's picking it over. Yeah. You basically have to be there at the beginning or you're effed. Anyways, I got Transformers #1 with My Little Pony. This is just a retailer's incentive cover A. It's like a 1 to 10, but it's cute. And
it was good. I actually read it. It was good.
And I got the all new Captain America #1 with Stephen Colbert. I'm a big fan of his. I don't know if you guys are you guys familiar with Varangian Vigilante?
Oh yes. Did you get the series in it?
I got this Jim Ballant book.
Yes.
It is the Tarot 122. Okay. And I'm going to show you that our friend Varangian Vigilante meets an unfortunate fate.
His first and last appearance.
What's that?
No, this is his first and last appearance.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Here we go. Wrong one. There's Burning Vigilante. Jim Ballant. Put him in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So, yeah. Varangian Vigilante is forever immortalized in a Jim Ballant book, being drug away by a skeleton hand. So
well, now you have to, if he ever winds up coming to the States, attends a convention that you're going to be at, you will have to bring that book for him to sign.
Well, yeah, I want to send it to him to get it signed. I think it would be badass to get Varangian Vigilante to sign it. And then it would be cool to get Jim Ballant to sign it, and then I'd have both. Then I want to show this one thing. So I found this Vampirella, Son of Dracula, #3, but it came in the foil, or not in the foil, still in the plastic wrapping. But the thing is, it says that it has these exclusive Master Visions promo cards. Look at this. It's a big card print.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Are you kidding me?
That's a hella good card.
It says Vampirella Master Print.
I have to find that.
Yeah, it's Vampirella of Draculon.
It's a Harris.
Master Visions.
That's before Marvel bought out Topps, man.
Yep. Liz Harrison, lower print.
Yep.
That is killer.
Yep.
And I just also happen to have, sorry, appreciate your patience. Happen to have Vampirella of Draculon 0. So
Nice.
kind of just trying to get some, yeah. And then I showed this to you guys, but I found this in the 50-cent bin the other day. Was Shadowhawk and Vampirella Creatures of the Night. And this is a Texera. That's beautiful work, I think.
Texera does some amazing paintings.
Quick thing, these are going to be big, dude. Or this is a spec book that I think you should just get because it's going to be, I think it'll be big, and you can get it for cheap. Captain Britain.
Oh, hell
Issue
yeah.
1?
Issue 1. This is the issue 1 first print. See that 1111?
Yeah, and it's written by Paul Cornell, who was originally a Doctor Who writer over in the UK.
And then this is the second print variant.
Nice. Very nice. Super cool. Super cool.
Yeah. But I think you guys should get on that. And I wanted to just show you this, Miracleman.
Oh, yeah.
The last one.
Great issue.
Final issue 50.
Love that cover, man.
It's so full of fun. So anyways, all right, I'll spare you the rest. Let's get to talking about the DC.
Well, I still have my stack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this guy.
Oh,
Yeah, you
don't
got a
forget
bunch
the
of
worst.
crap.
this is why I go the last, because I'm the worst. Sometimes I just get exactly what you get. It's close, but a little different. So, Lady Fantastic, don't hate me for the first thing that you're going to see here, because first I'm going to tell everybody, hey, what the hell is inside the briefcase? It's something I do every episode. So what's in this damn briefcase? I have way too many comics that came out today.
Wow.
Here we go. Ready, everybody? Okay, so I wound up picking up 34 of Submariner today.
Very nice.
Oh, shit.
Issue
No
50,
way.
Sweet.
high grade. This is when they retitled the series. And the reason why I got this today is because I won an eBay auction. So maybe in a week or so, you'll see what that is.
Nice.
Meanwhile, Amazing Spider-Man 46. The story's picking up. It's about a holy villain that you applaud him murdering people. It's very much like issue 775 of Action Comics, where it's what's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way. The only difference is that Joe Kelly's a much better writer. Captain Marvel, it picks up right where it left off last issue. We now have Carol Danvers with a half-sister who doesn't know how to interact with regular humans and is comedic and it's cute, and I hope she sticks around and continues being a good guy. I really like this new character.
Right on.
I never thought that issue 5 would be coming out, but here it is. I haven't read it yet. I didn't read most of these, but I did read Empire, and oh god, we're 5 issues in, and I still can't really tell you what's going on other than the plants are the bad guys, we think. And this is one of the back issues I missed. I had every issue minus issue 1 and 8. Now I'm only missing issue 8. It's Hickman's run on FF. Next up is Ghost Spider number 9. Again, I didn't think this would be coming out either. It was supposed to go to digital only, but here we are. This one I did read. I'm no spoilers, but I'm more interested in what happens towards the end and how that's going to correlate into next issue.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you can understand what I probably got. Here's issue 3 and 4 of Luke Cage. They're not like super high grade, but the other I'm going to need an issue 2 and pretty much everything between 5 and number 50 there. This one I ordered a few weeks ago, not realizing it wasn't out yet when I'm seeing delivery date for September the 18th. And then all of a sudden it comes in like yesterday. Yay. So first cover appearance of Black Winter, who we're probably going to guess is DC Comics. But we don't know yet because DC may or may not go out of business because they're firing everybody. We're going to get to that shortly. So I picked up, because I have issue 3 second print and somebody wound up sending me issue 3 regular. I picked up issue 2, 4, and 5, the variant of Venom First Host. Got the Venom regular cover of 27. There's the 1 in 25 that came out today, a store variant that has 2 covers. If you found it, congratulations. You have a $350 book. I have a $3.99 book. Yay. But it was good. We'll see. Marauders 11, didn't read it. X-Force 11, didn't read it. Still need to read 10. I've actually been liking the Empire series for X-Men, but I thought it was only 3 issues, and now here we are at 3 or 4, and it costs an extra $1 than most of the others. Damn it. Now, this was a goddamn surprise today. Batman's Grave number 9, I have not read it, but who is the artist on this book? This guy, you haven't seen him do anything in a really long time. You know who it is? That's Stephen fucking Platt.
Wow. I had no idea. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since Moon Knight and Prophet. Where's Prophet issue 5? This is the issue I'm more surprised that Miracleman didn't pick up because it's because of you that I picked up Flash Forward number 6. When I saw this original cover, I'm like, I don't care if I have to pay a couple bucks extra, but I want to make sure I get this one. My shop only got 2 in, and I'm very thankful that he said, yeah, you can take that one.
My shop sold them before I got there.
Yeah. I got there first thing, and it takes a while before he gets there. Usually arrives 1:32. So I'm watching person after person arrive. And for people that aren't in the know, it's Frank's Comics that I go to, located in Miami, very far west. Their address is 2678 Southwest 87th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33165. Ask for John Freshly. Tell him that Rob Worth sent you. So, yeah, I get a lot of deals from him. He usually does a lot of claim and auction sales on his Instagram at Miami Fresh Comics. Not doing one this Sunday, but he is doing some pop-ups. So I picked up the variant cover of Flash. Nice. I haven't read it, just like all the other 80, 90 issues. Here's Season 2, Issue 6 variant cover. I don't know if this is the final issue or not, but I haven't read
12 issues.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, 12 issues.
I have the first series. I haven't started reading this yet because I wanted to just get them all because I know reading Grant Morrison weirdness in chunks does not help me remember from month to month what the hell's going on.
Did you get Black Stars too?
What?
There was a series between season 1 and season 2 called Green Lantern Black Stars.
Oh, yeah. Issue 1 through 3. I got those.
Okay.
And issue 24 of the Dr. Fate cover of a book that I'm no longer reading because it's Bendis, and I just sort of fell off because it feels like every issue that he writes is like looking at people's other children on Facebook. I just don't care. A Jenny Frison cover, Wonder Woman. Got a Big Girls issue number 1 from Image. I always pick up an issue 1 just to see what it's about. And hey, if I miss out on something, I don't feel like paying $20 for an issue I could get on day 1 for $3.99 and probably sell it sometime down the road at one of Lady Fantastic's auctions.
There you go.
Willow number 2, issue number 1 second print also came out today, but I'm just sticking with this. And here's that Hillbilly Free Comic Day, along with 7 Secrets. This is the new Boom Studios Tom Taylor book. Looking forward to reading this. And last but not least, Vox Machina. I say last but not least. I know nothing about this. I just knew that it's co-written by Neil Gaiman. And that's really all I needed to know. So now that we've gone through all this, then we already talked about Batman's bookcase. How about I go and put my camera back and join the rest of the crew as we talk about what happened to DC Comics.
So what I heard was that they had gotten rid of about 1/3 of their editorial staff. Is this accurate?
Yes. So Andy Corey is gone. He was editor for Black Label, from what I understand. But they lost. It was, first of all, this is disgusting to describe it this way, but a lot of comic journalists, and I use that term loosely, referred to it as the DC editorial bloodbath. Rob, did you watch that unfold real time as we started getting dribs and drabs coming out?
Yeah, I tried getting into contact with the new CEO of Time Warner. His name is John Kilgar, and he doesn't have many posts on Twitter, but he does seem to respond to people. But when I just asked that question of, hey, what's the plan with DC going forward? Nothing. He hasn't kind of tweeted in the last few days, so maybe he's not looking, maybe he's busy. But the weird thing is that now we still have DC Fandom coming up. Another week, 2 weeks or so? And it's going to look entirely different from whatever they originally planned. I can't see how people can be very excited when, the person that was your boss, some of your friends, they're no longer working there, and you might be next.
Well, here's the thing, the important thing I think to take in mind here. If y'all start to look very nice, let's see that there, lady, fantastic. If y'all start to look and dig in to see who got let go. Oh gosh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I want me a copy of that right there.
You can find it on the cheap.
Oh yeah, they're not.
You
bad.
can find it. That's like your homework assignment is to find one.
If you look at who got let go, oh look, twins. If you look who got let go, it's editorial on up. They didn't cut any talent. Okay. And not to say that editorial is not a talent, but Bob Harris was let go.
That was the most surprising to me. I mean, that guy's
he's
been a staple. He's been around longer than some of us have been alive combined.
Yes, but here's the thing. We don't know why they were let go, but let's try and discuss real quick what we do know. What we do know about them. Air Spider. Here's what we know. AT&T recently acquired Time Warner Brothers, and as an extension, DC Comics. Clearly, we have two mega corporations developing a massive cross-platform entertainment organization. They have everything. They have movies, they have television, they have music, they have cartoons, they have comics. They both have streaming services that they're clearly being very aggressive over. Here's what I've pieced together. AT&T came along, said, all right, we got this. First and second quarter happened, and the global economy dropped into the toilet, partly in thanks to Corona, probably primarily in thanks to Corona. But also in thanks to some vast mismanagement by some government types. I won't even name names. We'll just say government types. And I love that. What WTF, Alfred? That one's great. So obviously they had to cut, and they cut deep, across the divisions. This wasn't just hitting DC. This hit Warner Brothers. This hit AT&T as a whole, as a company. Multiple high-level people in different divisions were let go. Head of Warner Brothers Studios was let go. So you can't look at it in a vacuum. Lots of people, doomsayers, have come along and said, it's the end of comics. That's the dumbest thing that you can possibly say at this point. Definitely not the end.
Seeing that just like the Charlie Day meme with, all right, I'm smoking my cigarette as everything's piecing together. Who is this guy?
Right. Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia. I'm seeing Pepe Sylvia everywhere. It's like it's Pennsylvania. But what I'm seeing here is that if they're starting to take away all of DC Universe streaming, fold that into the HBO Max series, then they can probably say, well, DC as a publishing arm will still use the rights to the characters that we still own, but maybe it's no longer lucrative for us to really publish these on our own. So maybe we'll go ahead and license the production of putting this out to, I don't know, whoever has some money that's around here. Hey, Disney has some money. Do you want to put this out too?
No,
as long as they keep the two entities separate, I could see Black Winter being DC for like a couple months, have something really big to bring people back to reading comics that would get us excited. But this is just speculation on my part.
My honest opinion at this point is that all they're doing is they cut out. Who here has worked for a giant mega corporation before? I have. Anybody else? Yep.
I worked for GameStop.
Okay, there you go. So I've worked for these giant corporations when they've gobbled up other corporations. And one of the things that they do every single time they gobble up another business is they cut high-paid people to the bone, because you can go to the lower ranks and go, that guy over there was making $250,000 a year. I bet I can get you to do the same job for $75,000.
That's what happened to my job in 2013. Although, to be all honest, I was drunk most of the time. So back in 2013, when we were bought out by venture capitalists for Swiss Watch International, where I was an art director for 13 years, we wound up having these people just come in, clean house. If you were there more than 5 years, you lost your job. And my assistant then got my job. And then they kind of sold off bits and pieces just so that they could earn some capital, so that their shareholders could be more profitable. And then I think it was last year or the year before in March, the whole thing just went out of business, went bankrupt. People showed up to work and, hey, the doors are locked. What's I no longer have a job.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what's going to happen with DC Comics. They didn't look who they let go. They didn't let go any talent. They didn't say, Tom King, your books are canceled. Time to pack up your pad and your pencil and get out of here. Obviously, you wouldn't do that because it's not like he shows up at DC's offices. But you get the point of what I'm saying. Talent didn't get let go. Talent wasn't told, we're canceling this, that, and the other. And in fact,
for those going, unlike Valiant, I think shuttered their doors, and they did shutter their doors. Apparently, they will keep making comics, Valiant, but their creators were told, stop everything. And they might be doing a new rollout, maybe a new Exo Manowar for like the 10th time in the last decade. But at least they had some kind of idea what was going to go on. Stop everything. We'll figure it out later. DC, they told all their creators, keep making your shit. It's like, but nothing's being put out. Keep making your shit. We'll make it work.
Right. And they figured it out. I mean, I've heard mixed reviews on those new distribution services. But here's what I'm hearing from comic shops, and I don't know about where you guys are. I'd love to hear your feedback on this. But I've talked to shops in 3 different states in the tri-state area. Some of them I have real good relationships with, and I've been talking to them about the business. And for the most part, you got every once in a while somebody who's irritated, this, that, or the other. With DC, but for the most part, what they're saying is they can't keep comics on the shelves. People in the shops that have opened back up, people are coming in and buying comics like crazy.
It makes sense psychologically because, you guys all know why. We're all trapped in our homes. We need something to escape to. So
this is a static form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit right here at my house for my many months of quarantine, open this up and read it. So comic shops are not – there are certainly shops hurting. But the shops that are opening, where the businesses are starting to open back up, people are going out and buying comics. So the business is there. It's coming. And right now, if DC Comics closed and was nothing but running losses for the remainder of the year, it wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket to the revenue stream of AT&T. Conversely, comic books are the cheapest IP farm in the world. It's not just owning the characters, although that's a big part of it. Owning Superman or Wonder Woman or Flash or Batman. That's a big part of it.
Stories to see what would work in a televised and or movie setting.
Right. They are mining the books for those stories. Why did we not have a Fantastic Four book for years? Because Marvel didn't want to hand the movie studio any more ideas until they got the property back. That's really what it came down to. I mean, they had decades of ideas they could have gone after, but they didn't want to hand them any more Marvel created stories that Fantastic Four could then be adapted into making a movie there where Sony was making $1 billion and they got nothing.
Yeah, that's why Perlmutter said, "Push the Inhumans, fuck the Fantastic Four."
Right. 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 Same thing with X-Men. Why have all of a sudden do we have 47 X-Men titles? Because Marvel got them back.
Meanwhile, it's, hey, let's kill Wolverine. Let's kill whatever X-Men that we have. Deadpool's okay. We can still kind of be profitable. But fuck the X-Men.
Right.
Oh, now we can do it again? Yeah, let's bring Hickman and who's Teeny Howard? Doesn't matter. Let's hire her. Hire everybody. Everybody. What if they're good writers? Doesn't matter. Everybody. That's how we have. Do we need an X Factor or a Hellions book or an X Cap? How many of these goddamn titles? Oh, which brings me to the next thing real quick. X of Swords is going to have what, 22, 24 crossovers?
Thought that, dude.
Yeah.
I like that cover, but I don't know about that book. Because that's like a whole event worth of tie-ins I'm getting. I avoid Empire for shit like that.
X-Men has like Captain America, X-Men, Fantastic Four. They have miniseries of one-shots, and it is too much. And do they actually contribute to the story, or is it just, well, there's just some side story that has nothing to do with it, but hey, we're going to make mention of it.
Hello?
Yeah, I can't do all that weird. Hello.
Did I just drop off or something? I know my internet is kind of crappy.
No, I'm sleepy.
Someone sounds like Charlie Brown. It's probably me that sounds like the Charlie Brown person. Wah, 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 wah.
Miracleman, you're muted.
No, Miracleman, I saw in the private chat that he needed to go. He'll be right back.
Yeah.
Someone sounds like Charlie Brown adult. Oh, God, I hope that's not me. Let's check my audio.
I think it's me.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, when I had to do the one episode that was totally dead-ass serious about Dynamite Comics, it was the one episode where my microphone wasn't plugged in. I sounded this for the whole beginning. That was worth it. I write out a whole beginning. When you do live, for those at home that ever plan on doing this kind of stuff, first, it's fun. 2, it is some work. But 3, anything can happen when you're live. Like, you can have a table bust on you and just tear the shit out of your feet. You can have a cat jump on you or pee on you, which happened last episode.
But I stepped away for a second, and I came back to cat peeing. What are we talking about tonight?
I don't know. I was silent all this time. I was thinking that you were going to respond, and all of a sudden, there's no response.
I'm so sorry. What was that question?
I don't know.
I am not working in my capacity as a court reporter, so you do not get readbacks.
My apologies, everybody. Basically, as we were talking about, when I sent you a message. Basically, as we were talking about before we left, though, here's what happened. A company said, hey, we need to cut money. They cut out expensive people. They're going to have one person do 3 jobs instead of having 3 people to do 3 different jobs. They brought in an esports person who's going to take over as publisher. And here's the thing that you need to really think about. Look at what the talent's saying. And Tom Taylor's come out and said flat out, DC's not going anywhere. We have a lot of big plans coming up. Yeah, I'm sure DC fandom feels like a bit of a kick in the guts. But what we're looking at is they got rid of his executives. And if a business is getting rid of executives and not the talent, that means the business is going to last. When the business keeps the executives and fires all the employees, that means the business is going to close. All right. And almost every time I've seen that, the only time that I've ever seen it the flip way is when it's like a brick and mortar store. And the only reason they keep the employees is because they got to sell the stuff in the store. Okay.
Alternatively, keeping around the talent would be like keeping around the assets. It's like when, to correlate, why am I saying the word correlate so much today? It's like I just picked a word out of my hat that I'm going to use.
You wanted to correlate.
I guess I do. So back when I was working at Swiss Watch International, we had a time where a large percentage of major people left to go work for another watch company. And then it really stuck in the craw of the owners to the point that they bought out the whole organization. They got rid of basically everybody with the exception of one person that was my roommate, former roommate, who did the cover of one of my comics back in the day. And everybody else they let go because everything else was just an asset. The watches are tangible assets, and she was the one person that knew everything about the books, and everybody else was just irrelevant. So getting rid of a lot of the executives, if you were going to sell a comic company, well, the executives aren't necessary if there's executives and editors over at other businesses, but talent on the other hand, that is an asset.
Right.
Especially if they have contracts, because most of these people are all freelancers.
Yeah, I mean, really, for most comic companies, the only people who actually work for them are the editors. Everybody else is a freelancer. You know, I mean, the only employees they have are the editors, your letterers, your colorists, your artists, your writers. They're all freelancers. So unless you're saying, you know, if you see books starting to get canceled, then you worry about the company, whether or not it's going to survive. But nothing's gotten canceled.
Similar to Marvel saying we're going to stop putting out books like Avengers: The Wasteland, Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, whatever the fuck they're naming Gwen these days. We're going to put all this into digital, and then, whoa, backlash. We can't have that. It's like saying, hey, we're tied to Comicsgate. So we're going to put that out because we want to look economically viable. So I'm still hesitant on whether or not Marvel's very liquid right now. DC, maybe they're about to get liquid, not having to pay all these salaries. But there are so many questions going into the future that I don't know how it's going to shake out. But we're running up about an hour and a half into the show, and I know that Lady Fantastic has an early day tomorrow. I do as well. I don't know so much about Mind Shift. I know you had a long day today where you need to get another one of those bags, hopefully. You could make something work in the meantime, so let's go around the room and do what we usually do. Where is it? I know I usually keep that around here somewhere. Promote yourself. And we'll start with Lady Fantastic.
So this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Tacoma Comics YouTube channel, we got the newly formed Saturday morning cartoon crew, and we're going to be doing a little auction, and we got some really cool people together. And we'll be trying to get rid of some fun books. But Tacoma Comics, and it's the Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern.
So just to make sure for those that are on the East Coast, if it's at 11 Pacific, that would mean that it would be, at 2 p.m. Eastern?
2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern, look out at Tacoma's Comics. So otherwise, we got next coming up. If you're watching the show, you must have it. It's Comics on the Mind.
What am I doing? I have my show tomorrow, Teacher's Lounge, which is at 9 p.m. Pacific time, which is West Coast time. So if you're up that late and you want to come hang out with us, come hang out with me and Gorilla Todd, aka the Todd Father. We appreciate it. Talk about all types of topics, including topics on teaching and comic books and everything else in the middle. So if you guys have time tomorrow, come check us out. Tomorrow it'll be on Gorilla Todd Comics channel, not mine. We usually go back and forth and switch. Last week it was on my channel. This week it's going to be on his channel. So I hope I don't sound like, huh?
And the alternative name for the show is like the Teacher's Lounge, right? Because you're a teacher, he's a teacher. And
Does Tacoma come on that?
He comes and checks it out. We were just talking a while back, and I didn't realize how many teachers are in this community. There's a lot of teachers in this community.
He's a teacher. Justin's a teacher. There's a bunch of teachers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to be a teacher too?
Oh yes, I would.
All right. So next up, we got Miracleman. Where can you find
So you can come on by and say hi to me on Twitter at Komodo1977. I don't have an Instagram or a YouTube, as Rob has told you right down there at the bottom of the screen. I do occasionally write for Batman's Bookcase. It has been a while. Zach, who was our guest, I have a stack of stuff I got to send in to him actually, of old series I've reviewed and written about. But I have nothing to sell. I don't ever plan really on having anything to sell any of y'all. But if you can, definitely go over and take a look at Zach's book over on Kickstarter, Next Door. Also, our guest last week, Discordia. Check that one out as well. Very cool little horror book. We should have another guest.
Birds funded right now, and thank you for anybody at home that wound up helping out with that Kickstarter. Help out with tonight's for the book. The name of the book again is Next Door, and you can find that at Kickstarter. His name is Zach, Zack, Acquaintance, like acquaintance, but just drop the A.
Yep, that's exactly right. Next week, a little announcement. Haven't even shared all the details with the crew here yet, but we will have another guest who is starting a Kickstarter. Somebody who has done books for some indie companies already. Action Labs should have him on next week, and I'm gonna actually share that with the rest of your crew through text here a little bit. But that's about it. Thanks for coming out and seeing us tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully next week I will have the banner put together so I'm not racing to do it the night before because, oh, God, it feels like I just threw that thing together and even Lady Fantastic's going, yeah, maybe you should not spend so much time on the banner. Maybe I shouldn't be doing all this Photoshop stuff here to make it look like Sharon and her daughter are fighting with the null sword. Why can't I remember the name of the damn sword? It's late. So speaking of which, I guess I should probably promote myself and close this whole thing up because I'm
Necro Sword?
that tired and I've been away. Thank you. The Necro Sword. I'm reading
There
it. I'm only on issue 12 now. All right. So to promote myself, thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching, everybody. We do this show every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And again, I kind of forgot to open this up at the very beginning. We have, and I'll try and cover up so we don't see too much. I had Fantastic Comics send me a package, which is what you guys saw at the very beginning. When I was sending you pictures earlier. So I already went through it. It's not like many people are going to care about what I get for this because I have most of the rest of the series. I picked up some Swamp Thing 162, a 165,
Ooh.
70. These are the last ones I'm missing in Swamp Thing, and I'm that much closer to finishing the max. I now only need an issue 28 and 32 through 35 because there's 31.
Nice.
I mean, there's dings on it, but I don't care.
Yeah. Who
I
cares,
just wanna
man?
read the thing.
Yeah.
I'm more of a reader. To me, I'd rather, instead of paying the money that I could pay for a graded book, take the rest of that and buy another raw book like Submariner 35, which is probably going to be on the list next. So thank you for watching at home. Replay viewers, our live viewers that stick with us, even Tailgate, thank you. So this is the Not Near Mint crew, and we will be back next week as usual, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Night, everybody.
We love you.
Don't die. But not on this show.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Rob Wurst, Lady Fantastic, Miracleman, and Comics on the Mind will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Not Near Mint.